this talk, video is a super hot topic right now, and it's only going to keep getting hotter. So, Shireen, if you want to go ahead and start things up, cool. We'll let Paul take it away. Paul.
All right. Thank you. Well, first of all, let me get this all situated. But as we said, my name is Paul. I own UnoDeuce Multimedia. I've been in this video broadcasting space for close to 20 years. Actually, maybe just over 20. Been in Lansing for about seven years now. And what we do as an organization is we're a video storytelling agency. We focus on the story of documenting what nonprofit organizations and family-owned small businesses, what they do, why they do it, and how they're making a positive impact. Now, that's a little bit about me. I'd like to know who's out here in the crowd a little bit, so if we could just have everybody just introduce themselves and who you are and where you're from. Why don't we start right here?
Sure. Victor Mansky, electrical electronics engineer, computer networking systems. I develop a lot of prototypes, and one way to sort of advertise or simulate prototypes is through video. So that's why I'm here, to look at all the aspects and how I can benefit from it.
Okay.
I'm Carrie Rathbun-Hawks, and I am president and founder of Rathbun Public Relations. And I have worked with Paul for a few years now. He's done a number of videos for clients of mine in a number of industries. So I work with, I'm very much a generalist. I go everywhere from healthcare to manufacturing to technology and nonprofits and beyond, and do the full gamut from research and communication audits, focus groups, that sort of thing, through the planning process, strategic communications, implementation, evaluation, crisis communication, working with the media. And Paul is right on. It's all about storytelling. It's all about being in the media space that is most appropriate for your client. And that's why he and I work together a lot, and work together a lot very well in terms of what is strategy-wise, what is best for the client. And often it does come back to a lot of video. So I wanted to come today and just see if there was anything he could teach me that I didn't already know from him. So that's why I'm here.
And we met Emily, so.
I'm Victoria. I'm from Elevate Marketing Company. We do website design, social media management, and marketing consulting.
Continue on. Yep.
Yeah, my name is Rishi, and Tony and I actually work in the same company, Frictionless Commerce. And what we do is we work with online retailers and help them convert first-time buyers. And so we apply marketing principles to do that. So that's what we do.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I work with them. My name's Tony. Yeah, video content is something very important. So we're just kind of interested to see what you have to say.
Awesome.
I'm Patrick Hawkins. I'm with Hyperverses. It's a small consultancy. We help mostly with copy, SEO, content strategy, email sequences, that sort of thing.
My name is Roger Frost. My team, I do e-commerce. I dropship via like Facebook ads. I run traffic on my website, get sales. And yeah, I'm from Lansing, Michigan.
Cool. We'll move right over here. Dane.
Dane Cook. I'm a technology consultant, and so within that I do IT management, website development, and content creation. So video and audio production is a big part of what I do.
My name is Chaz Furlow of the Whole Time Daily Agency. I sell insurance to business nonprofits and specialize in cyber liability, which includes video, valuable content. So interested to see what Paul's saying.
Kate Wolfkuski, my company is Zephyr Bookkeeping. I'm a bookkeeper and accounting software specialist that specializes in cloud-based platforms. I help people convert to the cloud, manage their data in the cloud, and customize it with different applications and settings for their personal business needs.
I'm Andrea Funk, and I'm from Two Cool T-Shirt Quilts. We take our customers' T-shirts and make them into quilts. And I have been an inbound marketer for my company since 2011 because I lucked into it and I'm ahead of the curve. And with me I have Will. He's my nephew, and he is from Kansas City, and he is studying inbound marketing with us. And I have Kim, who's going to become my video editor. And so we're here to pick up more on video. We know video is important, but it's just one more thing, but we know it's important, so we're just always trying to keep up on it.
And last.
Phil. My name's Phil. I am computer science, and I also help nonprofits.
Nice. Well, thanks. It allows me to hear from you guys and what you guys do in the differing industries that this new medium is, well, I shouldn't say new, but this medium is important in. And I'm also, my other title is Creative Video Strategist. I go out and talk to folks like yourself to storytell. And in the back, behind the camera, is my number 2, Shireen. She's my video architect, and that's exactly what she does as she builds great stories. So we'll start off with a little bit of some staggering statistics that you may have seen. First of all, 80%. Does anybody know what 80% refers to? Okay, 80% of the internet will be video-based by 2020. That's the latest projection. So, you guys are in the right spot.
Do you believe that?
I do. I do. With the advent of live and advent of the way that video is becoming less and less restrictive to spaces, and that's the way that people ingest more information. It's hard to believe for those that have grown up before or knew the world before the internet, but you have to understand the next thing, 12. YouTube is 12 years old. So high school seniors going into their senior year do not know a world without online video as a resource, as a learning tool, as a research tool, as a communication tool. It's what they know. So that's why I say yes, 80%. So this is what's happening. And then the number 2, this refers to YouTube, which I just mentioned, just turned 12, is the second most used search engine in the world. And it's owned by Google, the number 1 search engine in the world. So Google likes video, indexes video, uses the information you put into that video for the world. So, and this is what folks are using as their new yellow pages is YouTube. So, are you on YouTube? Are you in the yellow page? You know, that's even an outdated marketing tool. So it's more like kindling nowadays. But well, that's what we used our books for, and we don't even get them anymore. So, however, I want to hear from you. I want this to be an open dialogue. There's a lot of different things, different aspects to what video provides and what video can do for your organizations. That's why the name of this talk is the versatility of video. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to touch on all the aspects in this short amount of time. So if you have a hot question that's burning, you just want to know, what are your thoughts on this, Paul? Go ahead. I would love to have that kind of conversation. But let's start off with, how are you guys using video right now? Who wants to go first? How are you implementing video? How many are implementing video on a regular basis? Okay. What are you doing? Okay.
A lot of quick little videos of silly little things that go on Facebook. They obviously perform a lot better than a photograph.
On our website, too, we have product openings from customers that have like customer reviews.
I use video it's a great retargeting tool because like photos you can't retarget on Facebook for like how many views you get and stuff like that.
And not only that, but with Facebook, you're allowed to use video to gather it as a video view. Yeah, use it as, that's its own advertising. Video views, so that people see this video as much as possible. Anybody else want to?
I primarily use it. I do screencasts and, like I need to send a message to a client and don't want to send a phone call, but it's too much information just to type up a huge email. Just make a 2-minute video and on my way.
Use Camtasia?
Nope,
Luton.
Yep, online service.
Okay. How many have heard of Camtasia? It's good.
They got something new coming out, don't they?
I don't know, but they are an amazing organization. And local. I did a presentation on Monday, and most folks didn't know that. I was like, this piece of software here is written and developed for the world right in your backyard in Okemos. So it's pretty sweet. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody have a burning question that they want to get to? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't barely see you. All right, go ahead.
Website testimonials.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and we'll get more into that. I mean, if you guys want to, we'll be showing some videos. They're not hooked up to the speaker system for some odd reason, but we'll get to those in a second. Now, to start off, some of you mentioned these. There's actually more than 5, but there's 5 basic ways to start off your storytelling. If you're stumped and you're like, okay, I want to use video, or how do I start? Where do I start from? Or my company just doesn't have a good look for video. There's nothing exciting about it. That's all myth. There's always something you can use video-wise to help promote, inform, educate the audience. And so one of these, this first one, is a testimonial. And Carrie, you'll know this one really well. See if you can hear it. No, you can't. All right. Okay, it didn't. All right, this is a different one. This is a new product or service. A product or service. That's another way. So, weird. So, yeah, I jumped ahead for some odd reason. I don't know what happened there, but somebody mentioned testimonial. A testimonial is number 1. That's the number 1 best marketing tool you can use for using video. Why? Because you're seeing a face and hearing a voice of someone who has been impacted by what you do. Yes, sir?
Also, social proof. Good social proof.
I'm sorry?
Good social proof.
Yes. Yeah. Good social proof. Absolutely. Does anybody here know what social proof means? Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to get too caught up in jargon, but he's absolutely right. Because when I look at a website and see, oh, such and such incorporated was great and timely, Sophia H. And that's all you see. And it's like, did they just come up with that? Who is Sophia? It just sounds... But when you see somebody and hear somebody that could possibly be your neighbor or somebody you know or something, it's like, that's a whole different engagement tactic. And right there, I mean, that's right there for somebody who says, video can't help my business. Well, if you have clients, there you go. Get those out there. And they don't have to be long. Most of the ones that we have done are about 1 minute, 60 seconds. Some may be a little bit longer, but for the most part, that you need to get out there. Another way, well, like I said, we just showed product or service. If you have something that's very visual, get it out there. Show people what you're doing. Show your expertise. Talk about it for a little bit, because that's what you're trying to sell. You're selling that. Another one is events. Either a promotional, if you do events, either to promote it or to recap it. Not sure if you're in this one, Chad. I saw you come in. So... Nope, you're not in this one. And that's another good one. I mean, this one is built specifically for Facebook ads. That's exactly what this client used it for, is Facebook ads. He said, I need 60 seconds. Boom, let's get it out there. He used it on Facebook, Instagram, and that's what draws people in. But it can also be used as, here's what you missed. You know, we are just still do it. We do it every year. So check us.
Which one did you use? Did you film 2016's event and then use it to promote for 17?
Yes. Actually, we've done several of them, so sometimes we mash up several years worth, but mostly we record the year before to create the event promo the following year. And so we've also done with that same client Lansing Beer Fest, which is happening this weekend, and Art and Craft Beer Fest, which happens in February. The other couple types of storytelling that you can start with. Now, is it Patrick?
Yes.
Yeah, he brought up something similar to what I'm going to talk about right now, which is frequently asked questions. Similar to what, you know, if you have that question that people are asking constantly, create a video. And then you have that there. You have that as a tool to say, hey, check this out. This will answer your question visually, creatively, and will inform you exactly about how the process works with that. You know, it saves you more time than rewriting the same email over and over and over again, or copying and pasting. Just create something once, send them a link. And the last one is how-tos. So a lot of folks are like, well, I don't want to show off too much of what I do, but that's not the case. The case with how-tos is showing off your expertise. Most people are searching for you to see who they need to go to. They need to know that you know your stuff. So doing a how-to video on your approach to this, or why your business does something similar to this, those are really great. Those are the basic 5 ways to start with video. There's others that you can do, agency-wide videos, other training videos. There's internal stuff that you guys can create for your staff to train them, do online training, or even do what Andrea has done in the past, is create a portal that people have to purchase, and they get a series of videos to help learn her craft. And so there's different ways to do it, but these are the basic 5 ways to promote, inform, and such. Anybody have questions thus far going forward?
I missed one of them. I only got testimonials, events, FAQs, and how-tos.
Product or service. Yeah, it skipped over. Technology was not my friend at that point in time, which happens a lot in the tech world. So, but what about live? Who uses live video right now? What do you use live video for?
Event promotion, at the event, like question and answer, like TED Talk style type thing.
Okay.
And then a lot of like stories.
Right. Well, that's the beauty of it. The beauty of live is it's forgiving when it comes to the polished look, because you're holding your phone this way. A lot of the times, you're on the spot. No, it could be a little shaky here and there. People are forgiving when it comes to live, and live should be part of your overall strategy. It shouldn't be the whole thing, but part of the overall strategy. The reason why I say that is because for those who said they use live video, what platform are you using? Facebook.
Twitch, Facebook, YouTube.
Okay.
Are you repurposing the live? After you do the live, are you repurposing it? Using it in different areas?
Are you asking me or?
Anybody, yeah.
It's a good question. How is the live? Is it just set it and forget it? Do you let it replay, as they call it? Go, check the replay. So, I mean, for the most part, people will be using Instagram or Facebook for their live video. I'm not sure how Instagram does live on a replay, but Facebook usually posts it afterwards. Like right now, we're streaming this live to Facebook, and it'll stay there after we're done, but then it gets uploaded to YouTube. However, when it comes to the live, a lot of the times that is for your already built-in audience, because they're already following you on Instagram. They're already following you on Facebook. They're your fans already. This is why you need a broader strategy when it comes to video. You can't put everything on live. You need to have those other published videos to embed to your website to get those people to become your fans. It's that cycle. And so when you're going live, yeah, you're giving nuggets to those folks that are like, yeah, I'm already following. I'm already a part of that group. Whereas, like I said, still doing the YouTube style published or polished videos to help bring more people to your fold. And so that's why I think that you should be doing live. You have that ability. You don't have an excuse not to. And so that's why you should have it as part of your overall strategy. Any questions on that? Carrie?
Analytics on that. I have not gone back. This is my own, I'm just remiss at this. When you do live video, does Facebook give you analytics within that insight section of how many people were watching or commented or just maybe a little like button? Does it separate that out from, no?
No, I mean, it puts it into the analytics like it would any other video, except it will say live video. And then you will get your analytics. And then live video is huge. And we're going to get into that a little bit later if I have a little bit of time about that. And Facebook wants you to use that. And so it's going to really push that forward. And you're going to see a lot of the stats underneath the frame. But then, yeah, it does the same thing in the analytics portion of your page.
Okay.
Chad.
One thing that we've done before is boost a Facebook Live video after. You can't do it before, but you can do it after.
Yeah, you can boost it. Yep, absolutely.
So
You can't use it as an ad.
Right.
But you can boost it, absolutely, as a post, because it becomes a regular post. And that's when people say, catch it on the replay. That's what they mean. It's now a regular post that you can boost. And this is another something that we've come across. People have been pushing the vertical video. Oh, vertical is where it's at. Vertical is this. Vertical is that. It is for the mobile space. For the most part, nobody's going to have a video camera, a professional video camera or DSLR camera this way to do vertical video because that's just not how those are made. And it's kind of awkward in that way, shape, or form. And so, most of the videos you're going to watch are going to be horizontal. However, what happens with vertical, and when you can get away with that, is when you're doing the quick social media videos or you're going live and stuff like that. And so, and when you see the professional vertical videos, that really means that somebody's taken an extra step in creating a vertical version of a horizontal video, or vice versa, or they have the means to be able to really make this stand out. But for the most part, for most folks, when it comes to the vertical video, the Snapchats, the Instagram stories, Facebook stories, stuff like that, vertical is okay. But when you want to have something professionally done or make it look professional, most of the cameras are still going to be shooting. They're not going to be shooting on phones and mobile devices first and foremost, and most of those devices. It's a debate that's really ongoing, because of the fact that there's a lot more people with high-definition cameras that are doing this. They're shooting it this way, not this way. But, we'll see how it shakes out. Chad?
So would you recommend to clients who are doing Facebook Live and doing video on their phone specifically for social or mobile to do vertical as opposed to horizontal? Like, if that's the preferred method for social.
I think you put it out on YouTube when you do it vertical.
What's that? Okay, to answer your question, Chad, most folks are not inclined to turn it when they go live. They're just inclined to do this, and which is what happens. And when I talk to nonprofits about the horizontal versus the video, I'm like, think about when you have to have an event. What's up, Leo? Oh, you have your capital campaign or your big Benevon breakfast or whatever. You don't want your video to be just this rectangle just taking the center and you have all this black there. You want to make sure that you have this, your screen is wide and you're right in the face of everybody. So that's another takeaway. It's not that I'm down on vertical video, I just don't see it as a completely professionally polished entity that most people, and if to make it professionally and polished as a vertical video, you have to do extra work. So, so that's where I stand on that. Any questions on that? Am I running low on time here? 12:40. All right.
That was a good transition.
I will. Yeah. How about that? The myth of time. Yeah, we're here forever today. I have your undivided attention. We are trained by platform, not necessarily by time. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you watch Facebook and Facebook Live videos on the same pipe that you watch Netflix. It's the same thing. It's online video. However, you're more inclined to sit for 2 hours if you're watching Netflix versus watching a Facebook video, which you might say, oh man, 2 minutes, that's way too long. Why is that? It's about the platform. Social media trains you to keep moving, keep going. You know, the rumor is that Instagram is thinking about expanding their video time frame to 60 minutes. And I'm like, really? You've already trained your audience to watch something for 60 seconds or less and keep moving. You can't compete with the Netflix and stuff like that. YouTube videos, on average, people watch YouTube on average for about 7 minutes. A lot of folks wouldn't think that. So you have to look at what the platform is you're using. If you're using, Instagram limits you to 60 seconds right now, even though they're thinking about the 60-minute. Facebook ad platform limits you to 60 seconds. Twitter limits you to 2 minutes. So sometimes you have those constraints on you already. So when you're developing these stories, you have to think about, okay, where am I going to put this, and how am I going to be impactful with it? So, so with YouTube, you can stretch it a little bit. But however, you got to figure out who your audience is and where you're trying to attract them. Like I mentioned with the Beer Fest videos. He wanted those 60 seconds because he was using those in the ad platform. So it's just something to think about, is the fact that where is this going, who's going to be watching it, and how long are they going to be, how long can I capture their attention? If you're doing an event and you're showing a video, you have an already enclosed, a captive audience, so you can possibly go up to as much as 5 minutes before you need to move on to the next thing. So, but that's a whole different ball of wax on that. Any questions so far? I'm going to try to get through the rest of this, then we can. Some quick video tips, stuff that I've come across over the years. Upload. See if some of you know this already. When you create a file for social media, upload the file both to Facebook and to YouTube. Why is that?
Facebook likes native video, the RAW doesn't.
Yes. You can't transfer a link from YouTube to Facebook and expect it to go anywhere. It's Facebook likes its own sandbox. When embedding video to your website, I highly recommend using YouTube or Vimeo. Because with Facebook and embedding, you sometimes get some added stuff that you don't want that goes against the look of your site. Whereas YouTube and Vimeo really embed exactly as it says into your site, and you can really customize it to the way you like it. Leo?
Vimeo costs money?
It does cost money now.
Okay.
It does. You have to pay for it. You don't. It's not for free, or it's very low. Very little for free.
And is there any other social media accounts you'd suggest uploading longer form content to?
I mean, there's a ton. However, they're all paid.
But you're not
Like,
going to upload a 20-minute video on Twitter or something.
you can't.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Twitter limits you to 2 minutes.
Okay.
So, when it comes to YouTube, always make sure that you have a great title and fill out the description, because that helps the SEO, search engine optimization, with that. And like I said, YouTube is owned by Google, so make sure that you're utilizing the platform effectively. Use captioning, because that's another way that Google will index your video. You can either use the free captioning that YouTube offers, or you can use a service that we use a lot called rev.com, rev.com, because they give you more than just the captioning. You can go in and download a text file or this or that, and they'll have it all for you. And then here's the other thing, is you can use that text file. If you have a blog, you can use the video in one part and use the text in another part, and boom, it's just basically a transcription of your video underneath. News organizations do this all the time. So, and that's just for SEO. That's just for search engine. And so, lastly, make sure that, and Rev is only $1 a minute. So, if we're talking about short form content, it's really, really cost effective to use the services, because they actually do a better job in transcribing and translating than YouTube does. So that's just an extra step. And create a thumbnail for your video. Make sure that you have a still that pops. You know what I mean by thumbnail? You guys know what I mean by thumbnail. All right. Yeah, make sure it pops. You can create cool ones in a platform we use called Canva, canva.com. You can create some really cool stuff in there to create a thumbnail. All right, next. I can also send this out to folks. But here's 5 ways to use your video after it's published. 5 different things that you can do to extend the life of a video. Like, you already have your thumbnail, but you can also take stills from that video and use it in several different ways, several different social media posts, so on and so forth. You can take clips, make animated GIFs, meme them. I don't know if I just created a phrase there. You can just do that. I mean, we use a program called GIF Brewery. And yeah, the debate, is it called GIF, is it called GIF, whatever. You can call it whatever you want. I know that people are like, it's GIF, but whatever. But you can create those. You can cut smaller clips. We do something at our business for our videos where we create what we call teasers. And we use those on social media, and they're like 15, 20 seconds of a video to get you to go to the longer video later. Just get your attention, kind of like a movie trailer. You know, that looks interesting. I want to see more. So you can create stuff like that. You can extract the audio, make a podcast out of it. There's several different podcast programs out there, Stitcher, iTunes, you know, stuff like that. But you can use that audio if it's an interview style or if it's a nice story, or a testimonial that somebody had. You can create that. Or, like I mentioned, you know, you can extract the text file from your captioning software or whatever, create blogs. So there's 5 different ways. I mean, this is what really caps off the versatility of what video can give you. You can record once and expand out with that one file in several different ways. So, I mean, I think it's time for us to just wrap this up.
So give
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so,
There's that brewery stuff, right?
yes, it's all about the breweries. But yeah, so now it's time for more questions. Well, that's us. More questions, and if you got, I'm here.
So on a video on your homepage,
Yes.
what elements should be included? Is there like a blog out there to go read to help write that blog, the video?
The video on your homepage should be what I refer to as an agency video. And that means showing who you are, what you do, why you do it, and how that would work for who's ever visiting your website. Just basically, and this one can go up to 3 minutes.
Okay, it can't go
And, yeah, and that's what a lot of folks have been doing, is this is a 3-minute, this is who we are. This is why you should do business with us. And it should be high on the website, you know, on the homepage, excuse me, on the homepage. And it really should, nuts to bolts, tell folks your basic philosophy. Don't go into detail about certain services. Just show illustration of that over the fact that, you know, I went into this 12 years ago because I was trying to fulfill a need for my family, and it just blew up from there, you know. And, you know, have staff, have a testimonial in there. But, yeah, I would just really, there's no true template, because your business is going to be different from other people's business. It's how you approach it. What would you say if you wrote it down as like a 3-paragraph thing and just go from there? What elements would you include? Anybody else? Yes, Leo.
Going the other route from podcast to video, do you have any suggestions for taking a podcast and posting it on YouTube or Facebook? Get a video review.
What do you mean?
Right now I just use B-roll and then put the audio on top of it and post it to YouTube.
Okay.
Podcast. Do you have any other suggestions?
Well, when it comes to the podcasting, and the whole purpose of the podcast is that people can listen to it on the go. And so what we've done in the past is we didn't really put much video to it. We just had a still, because it's about the audio. You want people to focus on the audio. And so that's the whole purpose of that. That's so that, you know, you can, you know, get to it. You can get to it on YouTube and still listen to it in your car, but at the same time, you have that podcast go to other areas, in which, if you're a heavy podcast user, you have what's called a podcast catcher program, in which you subscribe and it goes there. So, I mean, I don't know if that answered your question, but.
I guess one of the things that I've seen in a couple shows, radio shows that I listen to, like The Drive with Jack and Tom, for instance, they film at Spotlight, and they film those radio shows.
Yep, they do.
And they stream it live on Facebook, and I end up watching that more than I do listen to radio.
Right.
And it even though it's not compelling video, it's still kind of cool, right?
Absolutely. I mean, all radio stations almost do that. Yeah. You know, I find that all the time. Yep, right? Exactly. And so it's just one of those things where you're seeing the personalities, you're seeing their face. You're putting a voice to the face. But for the most part, that's audio first, video second. And that's why that's why Chad's like, it's not the most compelling of video. Well, that's because it's secondary.
Yeah,
but it's still there. You know, it's because those outlets are so easy to do. You can Facebook Live at the same time you're broadcasting out to the radio. And that's the whole reasoning behind, you know, if you have a longer video, you can cut that down, or you can just extract the audio, and all of a sudden you have a podcast, you know. And so that's just huge.
Would you agree, Paul, that you've given a lot of information here, and there's so much to this, and it changes quickly, particularly because of so many of these digital and social media platforms, that people still need to put this all in the context of their organization's mission and strategy and their goals, because you know, they have to know their audience, that they need to have a plan for what they're going to do, as opposed to shoot from the hip and think, oh, this sounds great, we got to try this. Oh, this sounds great, we got to try that. It's like having a brochure because you think you need a brochure, but if you don't know how you're going to distribute it or who it's for, it's useless and it will sit on the shelf and it will be a waste of your money. I mean, would you say that this is really the same thing? It's just a new tool?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, video can be as cheap as you want it. It can be as expensive as you want it. However, you have to have some sort of a plan when you pick it up, even when you go live. Like what she said, she had several different ways that she uses live. So she's going to have an idea before she hits record how that's going to go or how that's going to be used and who she's going to reach. And that's the whole thing. I mean, it's not like you're trying to be an independent film artist and be like, oh, I'm making this for me. No, that's not going to make you, it's not going to get people in your door. And, you know, and that's the key is you have to think of your audience first. And you have to think of what you're going to say, but without compromising who you are as a business. It's your story. And that's what people want. They want to know who you are. They want to know why they should go with you over the competition or your competition. It's like, what can you give me? And sometimes you have to do that in a short amount of time, which means you have to do an extra step of planning. Okay, I have this broad service area, but however, you might have little tiny services within that area. You just use that, you just focus. You get that laser focus. But yeah, I mean, this is a new tool. I shouldn't say new tool, but this is a tool, and it is a marketing tool, and it is a sales tool, and it's a branding tool. It is like the brochures of old, but it's more dynamic and it's more easily, you can easily get to more people with it. People you didn't even know you could. So, anything else? Anybody else? I know that we spent a lot of time on the overall aspect of how video works within the world. We didn't get into the nuts and bolts of the technical aspects of cameras and editing and stuff like that. When I built this, when I was starting this presentation, when I was working on it, that was one of the struggles I had. Which way do I take this? Because of the simple fact that there could be, you guys could come in as a bunch of, you know, seasoned wannabe videographers and be like, oh, well, what camera are you using? What film, you know, what aperture level should be in this, you know, and that would be a whole section. So, I mean, if you want to talk tech, I'm as nerdy as they come. And so I can sit and talk about software, hardware all the time. And same with Shireen. She's more in depth on the camera end than I am. I'm more on the software end and the editing end. And so it's just like, that's what we do. We're in it day to day. And I know that video is only a portion of what you guys do and are responsible for. And I understand how sometimes that can be frustrating because you want to do a good job. However, it's like, this is the most time-consuming thing on the planet, and I'm trying to build a business. How do I mesh that? And so that's why, you know, when your roof leaks, you call a roofer. When your plumbing breaks, you call a plumber. When you need video help, you call a video producer. That's, you know, what's that?
Hashtag better call Paul.
Yes. And if you wanted the best video producer. So anyway, but I mean, I have cards. I didn't put them out. They're in my bag. So please, if you have questions, I'm a resource. So resource first and foremost. I've been doing this for a long time. You know, I've had the business before even YouTube existed. And so I know the dark days of distribution, and which was a lot more expensive, and I still look at it and like, how did I do this? So, so yeah, give me a shout if you have questions. And so that's it for today.